a session on Assessment 1 overview in more detail. This session is very much going to give you a breakdown guide of how to complete this first assessment. You will have had some general information in your induction process and also through the general assessment overview video, but this video is going to pinpoint exactly what I want you to include in this first assessment and show you where to locate the information. So, task 1, complete a range of tasks linked to your online lectures. The task will focus on your ability to locate relevant information and to present it in a clear and orderly way. In doing this, you will also develop key study skills linked to writing, synthesis, essay planning and note making. 500 words. Within your Blackboard page, you will find various folders down the left-hand side. The folder you need to be looking at is your assessment folder. Within your assessment folder, you will find various videos explaining the assessment overview. We're now going to be looking in particular Assessment 1. So Assessment 1 is obviously completing a portfolio range of tasks. Part of this portfolio is Task 1, which is a presentation of various tasks you're going to complete each week. So here you can see a yellow folder. With every lecture you have for the first 7 weeks, you will see one of these yellow folders. The yellow folder basically indicates that this is a task which is linked to your portfolio of tasks from weeks 1 to 7. Okay, so if I move over to the course material, let's go to Learning Materials, pick a random week, let's go Introduction to Writing Skills. As we scroll through this page, here we go, Portfolio Tasks. Here you can see the yellow little folder and you'll find the tasks that links to this week's lecture. I'll go back to another week, so going into the Learning Materials again, let's try another week, we'll go Reading and Referencing, scroll down, and again here you can see the yellow folder, this is a task which is linked to your assessment. If I go back to the assessment folder, what this portfolio of tasks looks like if we click on that, it should open up as a Word document, and this is what you're going to be completing as your assessment. So here you go, you can see, different tasks each week. It'll tell you week 1, week 2, and so forth, week 3. So as you're working through the lecture content, each week you'll be doing a little task that is linked to your first part of your assessment. But what you'll also find within this, your tasks are also linked to your part 2 of your assessment, which is your essay. So rather than just do tasks for the sake of it, you can see here is write 2 paragraphs, 1 descriptive, 1 critical, linked to the essay topic you've chosen. So as you're completing this task, you're going to write 2 paragraphs, which is linked to your essay title. Again, the essay titles are here. You're going to be using these essay titles, or one of these. So the task here is to break down the essay title. So again, you'd use the essay title that you're going to use for your second part of the assessment for this task. So each week you'll find, the yellow folder and you'll conduct the task as part which links to your assessment. Hopefully the first little video has given you an insight into the assessment of portfolio of tasks. Here you can see this, obviously the 2 documents are kind of crucial for this assessment. Obviously you've got your assignment brief, which also can be found in your assessment folder. This will give you a clear breakdown of the words, the submission date, the percentage, and then obviously a breakdown of your key tasks. Task 1 obviously is that portfolio. Task 2, there's a series of essays that you're going to pick, and as I mentioned, what you will find is those essay titles will feature in your portfolio of tasks. So your assessment here is on note making, so again using your essay title to conduct this task, so when you come to write your essay, you've got some groundwork done for it. Again, there's some instructions on the formatting of your essay, and then finally the action plan elements, which we're going to go over in a little bit more detail as we move through this Assessment 1 overview. Hopefully you now have an understanding of that first part of your assessment, and how to locate the assignment brief and how to locate the portfolio of tasks. I'm now going to go into a little bit more detail on your essay titles. So your task 2, obviously, as I've mentioned, each weekly task will help you write and formulate this essay. So it's really important at the start of the course is to have a look at these essay titles and maybe have a little think about which ones you think or which one you think would be most interesting for you to conduct, but also maybe the one that you find the most interesting, but also one you can find references and material to support your writing. So you get to pick one of these following essay titles. Does corruption in the FIFA have an impact on football fans? It's very much a social sort of question. Review the range of applied coaching skills and tools within the coaching toolbox. Again, more of a coaching topic. Compare and contrast the skill set of 2 of your coaching role models. Discuss the personal skills required by the modern day professional coach in relation to your own experience. Examine the effectiveness of a selected project that aims to increase participation in girls aged 11 to 16. Using a case study example, critically discuss the impact of the FA's Charter Standard Programme in achieving its strategic objectives. Discuss the social impact of football in the UK. And analyse 2 different approaches to youth football development, choosing 2 countries to compare and contrast. Okay, so you get to pick one of those topics. As I've said, it's really worth starting to think of which topic you're going to do at this point. The final part of assessment 2 is the action planning. So present a 400-word response to address the following. You've been asked to prepare an action plan in which you are to assess your study skills and put into place strategies for developing these skills in preparation for your 2 of university course. Include within your submission a flow diagram timeline which should have key steps and explanatory notes and targets. So, what is action planning? Action planning is the process which will help you to focus your ideas and decide what steps next you need to take to achieve particular goals that you may have. So, preparing an action plan is an efficient way to help you reach your objectives. It takes unnecessary worry about managing projects or even managing yourself. So it involves identifying your objectives, setting objectives that are achievable and measurable, prioritising tasks effectively, identifying the steps you need to achieve goals, using lists, timelines, being able to work effectively under pressure, completing work to a deadline, or maybe having a contingency plan. When you write plans, you have an effective action plan. You should be given a concrete timetable, clear defined steps to reach your objectives rather than just aimlessly wondering what to do next. It helps you to focus on your ideas and provides you with an answer to the question, what to do, what do I need to do to achieve my objectives. It is advisable to create a separate action plan for each objective. Okay. There are various different models of action planning. There's a cyclical process, which basically once you have been through the process in one cycle, you can start at the beginning again. So that cycle of going back to the start every time we move through. In real life, that's not quite as simple. The process is more organic and stages often overlap, or you may change your goals or progress to those goals. So you must be able to revise your plan as circumstances or your situations dictate. So here you can see on screen there's various different action planning approaches. I'm not going to go into each of these in great detail, but you can see some of these examples here on screen. Focusing on one of those in particular, so it might be, where am I now? This is where you review your achievements and progress and then take a self-assessment. Where do I want to be? This is where you decide your goals. How do I get there? This is where you define the strategy you will use to achieve your goals and break down your goal into smaller, discrete steps. You need to achieve that key target. You take action. This is the bit where you implement your plan, and then you review, where am I now? So recording your action plan is defining clearly the steps you will take and how you're going to get there. Think of all the possible things you could do to get close to achieving your goal, no matter how small. Try to map out several paths to your goal, then find one if you find one that becomes blocked available, then you need to be flexible and move around. And review your progress. So keeping a diary or a blog or reviewing activities is an important part of reviewing that process. So setting goals through action planning. A goal is a primary objective of the action plan. Goals direct towards achievement, and goals create motivation to prevent time wasting and increase time and effort. So implementing an action plan, you need to have ownership. You need to have action steps. Responsibility, support needs to be informed decisions and key milestones, and then obviously completion of a review. The goal setting side of it, there's some key research and information on goal setting. The one particular one I'm going to focus on is the SMART objective, which is obviously around being specific, measurable, attainable, relevant and time-bound. You will find various different documents within the assessment folder on SMART goal setting which can help you with this. Here you can see some more detail on SMART goal setting. So this is very much a sporting one. Obviously, if you're going to set some goals in terms of your study skills and how you're working, it's going to be very different to this. But the goal is to increase running speed over 400 metres to achieve a certain time for a competition. So, specific, the performance is a middle distance athlete and is targeting this event for junior championships, and PB is the current present score. So, measurable performance times can be measured during the training and club level events. Attainable performance has the capacity to complete additional training over the next 6 months based on recent improvement over 800 and 1500 performances. They can think they can achieve it. Current training performance has shown the performance has potential to achieve an entry within the timescale, and the time-based 6 months to the junior championships with interim testing opportunities are available at different competitions prior. So you can clearly see how that goal is achievable by those key areas. So you need to think about whatever you set for your study skills, your action plan or your goal you're going to look to improve, you can apply those SMART objectives to. The other thing you might include within this action plan is maybe a timeline. So as you can see on screen, timelines of dates of when you want to achieve things or when you're going to be working to things, or even something like a Gantt chart, which is just a different form of a timeline. So hopefully this session has given you more of an insight into Assessment 1. If there are any issues, questions or problems with this assessment, please speak to your mentors, or obviously you can contact me for more information if needed.